defense.
What up? Welcome back to Split the Defense Leafs post game. Presented by Laforest Electrical Contractors, serving Kingston and the surrounding area since 2004. Jordan Webster with Craig Pearce and producer Ted Evans in the booth. As per usual, game 48. Leafs defeat the Lightning 5-3. And Braden Point couldn't shoot the puck one more time to win my bet for me tonight. Thanks, Braden. Appreciate that, bud.
Man.
But we got the win. Big win either way. It was nice to see. 3 games in a row now. That is CP. 3 games in a row.
Yep.
So who are you going to give the first start to tonight?
I think we'll give it to Matthew Nyes. 2 goals and didn't take the shot at the chance at the hat trick. Like deferred to give it like for Matthews, I think. Like shoot the puck, bud. You had the angles, but yeah, Matthew Nyes. I mean, Wool's got to lead the team and runner up for first star, but because man, the one thing just for my first thought on the game is that felt awfully familiar. Playing Tampa and them just pushing until the very end. That team just does not give up.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that said, I almost wanted Tampa to score after Matthew Nyes didn't put it in the net, because that is a lesson to be learned right there. Like, you do not defer in those moments. Just shoot it at the net. He could have put it in. He easily could have put it in. Even if he would have missed by a couple inches, it would have been better off than what he did. So,
for sure.
like, I think that was a silly move, and he could have had himself a hat trick. Does Matthew Nyes have any hat tricks in his career? I don't
Probably
know.
not. And like, doesn't that just say everything? That even when a guy has the chance for a hat trick, they still defer to Matthews, no matter what. Like, that says it all about this team, which they got to break that habit. But yeah.
Can we talk about Austin Matthews to start the show?
Sure.
So Austin Matthews finally pulled off the move that we've all been waiting for him to pull off. He tried the Michigan.
Yeah.
He tried. It was close. And you know what? It was
Nice
slick.
save.
It was one of the slickest pickups I've seen coming around the net. He had a chance. Just no go. Jonas Johansson?
Jojo.
Whatever.
Yep.
Jojo. He read it like a book. But, you know, maybe he should have thrown the stick across the other side of the net. You know, when Matthews does his wraparounds, he always shoots for the far post.
Far post,
short
yeah.
post. And I wonder if it's the same thing that he should have done there. But God, it was nice to see. Was your hair not just standing up when that happened? It was like, oh.
Oh yeah, I was actually a little shocked. Like I froze in that moment. But I think the go-to is just to go right above the pad. Like, instead of going so high with it, still tuck it close, but try and still hit like above the pad, below like the blocker area. And maybe that's like a bit of a hole. Because yeah, every goalie now is going to go and try and seal that top corner whenever they see it. But I think you are right. One of the slickest ones, like definitely one of the quickest from post to post. So yeah, kind of surprised that JoJo is able to get there, but it would have been nice to see. But yeah, at the same time, I mean, Matthews, I think, played such an amazing game. It doesn't change my opinion on his play. Just from the get-go, I thought that Matthews he's found that gear that we've been waiting for this whole season. And it's weird when it comes right after we feel so low about the guy and thinking that this injury is going to be what, you know, keeps him from the Four Nations. You better not go. You know, we need you for the playoffs. And now it's like, man, you can go. You look beautiful out there. So yeah, go to the Four Nations. Have fun.
Slick timing for all that, though, huh?
Oh yeah, yeah. Like, it just it's not like he was dogging it though, and it's not like he's just pushing right now. Because I mean, it's been now more than 3 games, but where he's 8 games, yeah, where he's looked like himself. So. He's got
5 goals in a 4-game streak right now.
Yeah, you can't fake that. Like, he obviously feels like himself. So, yeah, and I think also just the things that highlight to me are the back checking and like strong on pucks, strong in the boards. Like, those are the things that we thought would be an issue for him with this, I think, back injury, whatever they do in Germany. It's been amazing to see that he hasn't had that. And like just in time too for Willie to be breaking out of his slump, and you have, you know, the 3 stars of this team actually carrying this team.
Isn't Tampa a team that the Leafs consistently always get up to play against, though? Like, when
Oh
was the
yeah.
last time you saw the Leafs lay an egg against the Lightning?
Both teams. I haven't seen either team lay an egg against each other. Like, I think it's one of those where it's a huge internal rivalry. Like, as much as we talk about the Habs every time that they're in town, like I think the team has this circled on their calendar more than they do the Habs. And I mean, rightfully so. When you meet the same guys over and over and over again, like, you guys know each other. You want, it's almost like playing against one of your friends. Like, you can't let your friend beat you. And even though they're like enemies, like it's just it feels a bit of the same. You've seen each other so much that, yeah, a little extra in this one.
And you try and beat these teams. Like, everybody has their rivals, and the underdogs want to come up every year. And you want to beat Boston, you want to beat Tampa, because it matters when it comes to the end of the season. You want to beat Florida. That's another one. But I wonder right now, a little off topic, does anybody want to beat the Washington Capitals? Because, like, they're the only thing standing between us and first place in the East right now. And it seems like, I wonder, like, if everybody's kind of, just, it's okay to lose to the Capitals because the Capitals aren't anything. But they are really on fire right now. And everybody is getting up to play against teams like Boston and Tampa because you do expect it. Like, is that a league-wide thing, do you think? Or am I just making that up because I live in Leafland?
I don't know. I live in Leafland as well, so I feel that as well. Like, I don't get overly excited about seeing Washington play, other than just like, what the hell are they doing over there that's working? But yeah, like, it just, I don't know. I don't have any strong feelings about Washington in any way. I don't love them. I don't hate them. I just feel like they've kind of collected a few misfits that weren't working on other teams, and it just seems to be working. Like PLD,
I feel
like
like
and Chikrin just seem to be a big part of what they're doing.
people underestimate them and don't give them enough credit, and they're sneaking out a bunch of wins, and that's kind of it. But it's going to come around. It's the second half of the season, and I wonder if, they're one of the teams that are like, okay, it's a measuring stick game. Like, we play the Capitals. Is it a measuring stick game? Like, I never thought so, but it seems to be now.
Yeah.
And, you see them get up for games against Boston. You see them get up for games against Tampa tonight, where, like, consistently they have every year since it's been a playoff rivalry. But, I wonder if Washington's sneaking under the radar there. Anyways, that was just a side thought there.
They're going to be an underdog to me until, like, they make a run for it. Like, I won't believe in them even going into the playoffs. It's kind of one of those weird teams, but every year they kind of have one. So
first place by a mile. So
I know, it's crazy.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
So I think the big thing tonight, the biggest thing for the Leafs, the number one key to the game, was taking advantage off of the rush. Both Austin Matthews and William Nylander took advantage off the rush to score the first two goals anyways. And playing well in your own end, playing well with the puck, and then just seizing on your opportunities, or capitalizing on your opportunities. I don't know what I was thinking there. Is probably the name of the game here, and it's the name of the game for the Leafs. It's the playoff hockey that we've been looking for, and it really looked good tonight to watch Austin Matthews streak up the ice and flick one in the back of the net, and it looked good to see William Nylander, classic William Nylander, get another breakaway, although we do see that more often than not. But you did see more of it, playing good defense, shoveling the puck out, skating down the other end, and doing it with purpose. And I really think that that's a recipe for success for this team.
Yeah, even the Matthew Nyes, his first one is like, it's a rush play. It's more of a transition play, I guess, but it's a fast play in transition that gives him a good opportunity. So, yeah, I think that's kind of the perfect mesh of this style is like it's about having a defensive mindset, but it's also about releasing early and getting, fast breaks. I'm thinking hockey or thinking basketball, but yeah, just get down the ice quickly. And I think they had like almost like 5 and maybe a half opportunities for a breakaway in the first period, and they ended up getting like 3 that are like kind of half breaks. But just right off the hop, like they were moving for sure, like, yeah, big time. Like, and actually, Morgan Riley was actually a big part of the defense transitioning tonight. He probably had his best game for me tonight. Even though like I feel bad for Jake McCabe having to play with him because man, does he just leave his D partner out to dry. Even on a good night, it's like there's still at least two I can think of right away. Where it's a 2-on-1, Jake McCabe just all out back there by himself. But Morgan Riley though he made he kind of offset that tonight. He made enough offensive plays where it was worth having those bad plays, and you're just happy that it's Jake McCabe there instead of Philip Meyer.
You took the words right out of my mouth. If you're going to have anybody back there for that to happen, it may as well be the guy that you think is Mr. Reliable, Mr. Steady, and Jake McCabe, right? It's like it was brought up tonight that he's kind of feels like the new Jake Muzzin. And he's the big, strong, tough guy. He's not out there to score goals, but he's like, he can move the puck. He can do that. He can do this. He can hit. He can skate. He can do it all. He's a great guy to have on the ice. So to put him up on the top pair, or top pair-ish,
Ish, yeah.
in the top four, with Morgan Riley, it makes a lot of sense, especially when Morgan Riley, we constantly are asking for him to push for more offense. Like, if he can't trust the guy back there behind him, then it's not going to work. And I don't know, maybe they just wanted like Tanev to do something else on his own here, but like, obviously, they didn't like the Tanev Riley pairing, so they're just trying the McCabe Riley pairing. But I'll bet you $20 right now that this doesn't last more than 2 or 3 games.
Yeah, you probably are right. But I think I like the Jake McCabe there more because Tanev, I think there's a potential for his pairing to be something more. And maybe it is OEL and like he can learn to play a certain style with Tanev, but I just feel like the Jake McCabe and OEL experiment didn't work. And so I think like it's at least you get a look at something else. And I trust Tanev with almost anybody on the ice. Jake McCabe, like as much as he is my go-to guy and my favorite, like there is still a bit of like, I don't want him playing with, Connor Timmins, where like Tanev, I could see him playing with Connor Timmins and it not being absolutely awful.
And I will say, after all the heat that we've given OEL and all the heat that he's taken in the media, I'm sure that it's been in the room, it's been through the coaches, and it's been said to him, and he's stepped up his game the last couple of games. He looks much better, do you not think?
Yeah, like still not as physical as like he was at the beginning of the season, but I think not as many, blow up plays and, blemishes to his name. So, I do think that I've been happier with his play, at least the last 2-3 games for sure. I'm just waiting for like all these guys kind of like I keep in the back of my mind everyone that has a different type of style that I can remember, and he's one of them. Like I'm keeping in the back of my head that maybe in the playoffs there's like a little bit extra. Riley, I get the same feeling for. Like he just steps up when it comes to playoff time. So I do keep that in the back. OEL has maybe an extra gear to give us.
So Akuma's deception says Riley was better, but at some point he needs to carry a partner. Unless Riley has really been an average defenseman all this time. He's making $7.5 million. Do you think Riley's overpaid?
Yeah, I do think Riley is overpaid. Like by not much. I think that like he needs the right partner. He's not ever going to be a guy that's going to carry a line. Like those days of thinking that he could become that are, I think, over. I think he can be a really good defenseman placed with the right partner, and finding that guy has just always been the issue here. Like, is that his fault? Like maybe a little bit, but I think also it's just that not having the right chemistry with guys. Like he's figured out how to play with Ron Hainsey before. Like it's not like there's been like these amazing players that we've thrown at him to be partners. So yeah, I do think that though he's not going to carry someone, just find someone that he's going to play well with.
I can agree with that and attest to that. But who is that guy? Because we've thrown every single person that we can find and afford at Morgan Riley, and honestly, it's been mid or not worked.
Yeah, if Jake McCabe doesn't work out, like go out and get either Ilya Lyubushkin or Luke Shen. Because like honestly, those are the only two guys that I've been happy with the partner, and otherwise, like we can't just go and get another dude who like maybe he'll work with him. If it's not someone on this team, like go get someone where he's had half decent experience with.
Maybe Ron Hainsey can still skate.
Yeah. He probably doesn't even own skates anymore. He probably hung them up.
Oh, I'm sure he still does. He probably outskate us both, but
Yeah, definitely me.
Matthew
Yeah.
Nyes. Matthew Nyes scores a pair tonight. We got Matthew Nyes on the power play still. 5 forward power play. What do you think of that 5 forward power play as opposed to having a defenseman back there? Do you think it's been successful enough that you keep using it?
Yeah, like I think Mitch Marner's gonna look better than any of our defensemen handling the puck at the top of the zone. Like we've also though seen way more breakaways and 2-on-1s and on the power play than we do when there is a defenseman there. So I don't know really how to think about it, but it's definitely if we need a goal, I think it is the best look. And I like Marner, even just tonight, where there's a bit of a scramble, and he's just smart enough just to throw the puck on net because he sees that Matthew Knies is the only guy there, and so like that's instead of like giving him a really tough tip shot or passing it directly at him, it's just get it in there. And Matthew Knies is becoming a bit of a junkyard dog in front of the net, just cleaning up. And so I think that it's perfect. Like that's a salute. Like one of the ways you can score on the power play. It's not always going to be perfect. And right before that, they tried a play where Matthew circles the zone and lines one up for Marner for a one-timer, which was awesome because that's different than something we've seen before. So like, yeah, there seem to be just like being a little bit more creative, and like that's the recipe. It's not who's going to be out there, it's what are the guys out there going to do. And I think just they need to mix it up a little bit with the players. Like I love Bobby McMahon being there, Matthew Nyes, but yeah, I think Marner and Matthews, they just can't do the same old thing over and over again, and they weren't, and it worked.
So, speaking of that, Bobby McMahon, Pontus Holmberg, William Nylander line was fucking brutal tonight. Not good. William Nylander was like rotating partners. He was with Kampf and
Yeah.
McMahon. He was with
He on his
Holmberg
own
and
was pretty
McMahon.
good, but
Then he was with Kampf and Lorentz. He himself looked fine, but
yeah.
that line was brutal. They had what I was just looking it up. They had 3 shots for and 9 shots against, and that confirmed my bias right there. It was not a good night for them. Like, I don't know what you're going to do to mix this up. And obviously, when John Tavares gets back, you have more of a solid lineup that you're going to play. But like break glass in case of emergency here isn't looking too good at this point.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I'm still kind of leaning back on like they're going to add someone, and I think it's gonna shake up this line a bit more than we think, or at least you think. But
Do you think it's gonna happen during the Four Nations or like right after like? Or do you think
I mean,
it'll be
I think
closer to the
there's a
deadline?
bit of an agreement that nothing happens during those type of tournaments. So either
I'm sure conversations are had.
oh yeah, just no deal actually submitted during
Yeah.
that time. So yeah, either hopefully before. Brad Treliving's always been a guy to try and get things done. So like I'm just hoping that he does it early. It's just yeah, like I don't know who that guy is and how much they actually want to pay because like I don't know, you're paying premium at this point.
Yeah, but you're telling me like you have these guys in their prime that you just signed some of the highest players in the league. You may not have Mitch Marner next year. You have one of the best heirs of the Toronto Maple Leafs right now, and you don't want to spend? That's your
Well,
problem? Fucking spend away. Try. Like, just try, no?
it's not that they not spend. It's just like not spend now because there's less guys available and they cost more. And so like, there's guys that will be available at the deadline that were teams aren't willing to part with right now because they're in a little bit of a chance of the playoffs. Like I heard the Islanders have a 20% chance of making the playoffs, but Lou Lamoriello will not part with Nelson yet because there's a chance. And so like that's part of it.
20%, yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know that he's fighting for his job though. Like so, yeah. I just like someone like Michael Granlund or Mikael Granlund, however you say his name. Like I not sure that they want to trade him yet because like their team is like creating chemistry as a young team, and he's a part of that happening. So they maybe want to hold him until the very end. Like just all these different scenarios. Like I don't just want Yanni Gord right now. I'm not like that. I do think that he's a good player when he's totally healthy and everything, but guy that's been hurt and everything, like I'm not sure that the guy is available that we want.
Well, they finished the night 6-4, but in the first period, the Domi, Minton, Robertson line outshot the Lightning 5-0.
Hmm.
Fraser Minton was back in tonight. He drew in for Max Pacioretty, who took a puck off the head last game and somehow still finished the game. And then obviously was hurt because he's not playing now, which I knew. Like, nobody takes a puck off the head. I don't know. Hockey players are ridiculous. But Fraser Minton drew in. He played 11 minutes tonight. What did you think of him overall?
Yeah, I think he was pretty good. He showed kind of that he's still a young player, like getting pushed off the puck a little bit. Gensel kind of just rode over him, just made it look like it was an NHL player playing against a young kid. So you want to rule out those moments, but I like in the comments someone said, "Would you rather Holmberg or Minton as a center?" And like I think that Minton's a way better center than Holmberg, but like neither guy do I think is ready for a second line centerman position. Minton is just like he's such fringy on being a third line center, that I think it's great that he's here, and he's not like he doesn't show like he's like an amateur, but just like he's not quite ready. He still needs to refine the edges here and there. But overall, I think his game's great. Like he's going to be a really consistent player, like as a third or fourth line centerman. So like he's out of the question for me as a playoff player this year.
Still not this year. Well, that's fair enough. All right. Well, all I really got to say is a much better start tonight. Nice to see that happen. Oh, I do got one more thing. You know how in basketball, you have a guy who just gets the rebounds? The Leafs have so
Yeah.
many fucking one and dones. Do you think it's like a skill that should be tracked or could be tracked for guys who pick up rebounds and keep the puck in play? Is that something that's tracked? And if so, can we find the best one and bring them to our team? Actually, bring one for every line, because this lack of sustained pressure in the zone is really not fun to watch when it goes back the other end for those rush
Oh,
chances
and
as well.
I was a little lost there for a second. I was like, are we looking for a guy in front of the net? Like, what are we looking for here? You're looking for a guy that wins board battles, that chases pucks and wins
Yes.
board battles.
Yes, he knows what you can read the angle of where this shot's gonna go
Yeah.
off here, and I'm kind put myself in the right position. Enough with hockey IQ that he's winning, puck retrievals in the offensive zone. There's got to be a stat tracked, and I wonder who the best players in the league are at that, because
Yeah,
it's not the Leafs.
yeah, it's got to be like I'm not sure if it's an actual fancy stat, but like you would like combine speed with board battle strength, and that would probably come up with the player that you're looking for. But yeah, I think it's a part of like the team isn't quite like for the ideal team to play this style, they're not quite fast enough. So like I think it's like you would like whoever comes onto this team to be fast. Like it's enough of getting these really big guys. Like we need a little bit more speed to the team. And so like Holmberg, like for a guy that's not that big, like he's not that quick either. Like Bobby
No.
McMahon's the only guy
Yeah, he's
really
not
that
bad.
like for his size, he's pretty fast. Like I don't know, other than
That's
him, like
true.
who else really like jumps off the page? Like Matthew Nyes is as good as he is. He's not like the fastest guy to get in on the boards.
No, and like they don't play fast. That's the thing. Whether they can skate fast and they can take a quick rush up the ice is one thing, but they don't play the game at a fast speed. Like they don't naturally want to push the pace when they're playing. Like you watch a team like the Colorado Avalanche who push the pace constantly, and it feels like everybody's constantly trying to run to get out of the zone. It's like headman, 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 and move, 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 move. And I think that's more what we're trying to describe here, right?
Yeah, yeah. I also like I think the like ideal style of this team is like a little bit in the middle. It's like probably not exactly what Berube wants, and it's not the style that we had with Keefe. And it's like somewhere where like the players have more control to bring the puck up the ice, and it's not as much of just always dumping. And like Berube, I think is also just like kind of dipping his toe into the water here, and like he's given the team the basics of what his style is, but like we've heard coaches say you can't overwhelm a team on year one, because you're just going to lose them within all the noise. You can like there's only so many practices an NHL team has to implement things. So yeah, and then I think that in part maybe leans it a little better to like maybe guys like Matthews and Marner, who aren't the fastest of star players, are still in a style of game that like is geared towards them.
And habits take time to break, as Craig Berube said.
Right. There you go.
So do you have anything else you want to go on about this game here? Should we wrap this sucker up?
No, I like we didn't really talk about Marner, did we? Like Marner had a good game. Marner's playing well. He's doing
Marner's
just Marner
great
things.
again. Yeah, he's a contract year Marner. Like, I don't even know anymore. Let's see the playoff Marner. Like, if he just had something like, let's just see. Marner's great. We all know Marner's great in the regular season. He's a fantastic player. He's gonna score like 120 points this year.
I'm also like, I'm still so hot and cold on his attitude. Like, why is he so pissed at the end of the game there? Like, he's like, what's fucking taking so long? And it's like, man, they called a timeout. Like, settle down, dude. Like, you just scored like another empty net goal. It's 5-3. Breathe, you know? Like, yeah.
You see his face on the bench.
I know. I know. Frig, man. Settle.
Well, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. He's fucking, Anyways, Marner's been great, and that's probably why we didn't touch on him, but, he is who he is, so we'll see how that goes. We are back again Wednesday against the Blue Jackets, another 7:30 game. Just love these late starts, but it's not an Amazon game. Maybe the puck will actually get dropped around 7:30.
Yeah, this was a late one. It started at like 7:50, like by the time they got around
Amazon.
to it. Man, it's not just Amazon. It's hockey. Like, I don't know what it's up with it. Like, basketball games don't start this late. Baseball games for sure don't start like late. Like, when it says it's this time to play, it's time to play. Like, yeah. The broadcast, like, people, if you want to see the guys talking, like, show up half hour before. There's a whole pregame thing. Like, I don't know. Yeah. Old man complaint for the day.
I know. There's literally a 30-minute fucking show. Like, drop the puck at 7 o'clock. What's the bit? What are we waiting on? Like, it's literally your decision. Like, you can make the decision on what time you want to start everything 5 minutes earlier. Like, you're not I just don't get it. It makes no sense.
Yeah, they give the players a schedule. Like, I don't know who's fucking up here, but like they are.
They are. Anyways, let's wrap it up. That's a wrap. Thanks for joining Split the Defense, Leafs post game, presented by Laforest Electrical Contractors, serving the Kingston and surrounding areas since 2004. Leave us a comment on the way out of here if you haven't already. Hit that like button for the boys. Subscribe to our YouTube and listen to us in podcast form anywhere you listen to podcasts. Again, very shortly. Talk to you next time. Peace.
Later.
Follow the boys on Twitter at STDPWebby, at Craig D. Pearce, and at Ted_is_show.